Welcome to Work World Writing, where we show teachers they don't have to mark and prep outside of class so they can have a life. Today I tried something new with my students, and it reminded me of those old grammar worksheets I used to use. So I went and grabbed my old college writing textbook that I used to make my students buy for the writing course, and there in the chapter, at the end of every chapter was these questions, with mistakes in them, and they have to fix it up. This one's on capitalization. The next chapter had apostrophes and other punctuation. Students have to fix it up. Number use was another one. Confusing words and frequently misspelled words. They even had a total review where students had to apply everything and try and fix up these sentences. And I don't know, it just kind of made me chuckle, especially when I read the instructions. I'm going to just blow it up for you. It says, each of the following sentences has a total of 3 errors in grammar, punctuation, capitalization, usage, or spelling. On a separate sheet, write a correct version. Avoid adding new phrases, starting new sentences, or rewriting in your own words. When finished, compare your responses with the key beginning on page key 3. This just made me laugh. I mean, it's so unrealistic. Never would I ever look at somebody's writing thinking that there would only be 3 errors in it. Never would I think that, I can't reword or rephrase things. It's just totally beyond reality. And I see the student doing this assignment, and then checking their answers in the back of the book. And I don't know really what they would be learning from all of that. So what I did was different. I went Popular Magazine, Mental Floss. Kids' books have gotten longer thanks to the Harry Potter effect. So I tried to find an article that's interesting. It's written by Michelle there. And so I grabbed these 4 paragraphs and put them into some kind of document that I could format. And I started to strip things off. I started to strip out all the punctuation marks. Like, okay, yes, I see you there. I stripped off the capitalization and the quotation marks and the commas and periods and everything. And then I gave it to the students and I said, put them all back in. See if you can re-punctuate this thing just so we can learn about punctuation. And so they had at it. And here's some examples. They started adding stuff in there, fixing things up, making changes. They put up their hand. And so now we have this connection and they can see that I care about what they're doing. They're not just checking something in the back of a book, but we're working together and I can come over and ask them how they're doing and what they're thinking while they're doing it. So we're developing this kind of close connection between mentor and student instead of this cold worksheet with answers where you check all by yourself. So anyway, had good discussion while they were working on it. And so in the end, we came back to the article that Michelle wrote, and we got to see how Michelle chose to put in the punctuation. And the discussion was very impressive. For example, like right here, there's even quantitative proof, and Michelle chose to put in a colon and then explain what that proof is all about. The colon's acting like an equal sign. Some students put in a period, so we got to talk about how a colon kind of acts like a period. Another student, we use sentence part language, intro parts, interruption parts, add-on parts, and main parts. And so one student, we were talking about how some intros, usually they're not essential to the sentence. Using their own archives, the book list reader calculated the average length of middle grade novels for every decade. And so we don't necessarily have to read that intro. I can start my sentence with just the book list reader calculated. And the student said, well, look at the first sentence with that intro. It says, for many readers, Harry Potter was the series that first acquainted them with stories that surpassed, and on and on. And the student said, well, the word them, that's actually pointing back to the for many readers. And so to that student, the intro was essential to the sentence, and so they would remove the comma there. And just the level of thinking and the argument that the student was making, it just, I don't know, I felt like there was a lot more learning than just a worksheet, pounding through these little sentences that are unrelated and random. Another discussion we had was the difference between, putting the apostrophe here, lengthy children's texts, the children own those texts, and then in the next paragraph I got kids' books. And why is the apostrophe going on the outside to include all kids' books, and here the apostrophe is on the inside, making it just, there was quite a few times when I was like, wow, this is the kind of discussion I want to have, a hyphen in there, and what is it doing? I enjoyed it. I asked my students at the end, should I keep doing this? Was it worthwhile? Should I do it next year? And they all said it was really worthwhile. And so I hope you can use it, whatever grade you're teaching at. Obviously, the discussion is going to change depending on the grade. But yeah, thanks for watching.